Great, hi, I'm Samantha, and this is my Duoethnography assignment. I just would like to start off by saying that I really enjoyed this assignment. I think that I had the opportunity to really understand myself better as well as my peers in the classroom that I may never have had the chance to get to know on such a level if it wasn't for this assignment. And it really showed me how I wanted to be a better teacher and the areas of strength as well as for growth. So I was really excited that I had the chance to do this project, and I'm going to share it with you. So, first, I would like to say that throughout this assignment and throughout my life, I've always had a hard time trying to define and understand diversity in the usually white dominated community that I have found that I've been growing up with and just the world around me. And so that was really an overlaying theme of this assignment and kind of something that I had to unpack and understand and figure out as I went around. So my first experiences with diversity was really, as I said, I grew up in a really white dominated schools. You didn't really see a lot of people of color, and we were generally all able bodied in my school. You didn't really see IEPs back then, and it was, I really didn't get a chance to see different communities come together and what that really looked like until high school. And so when I finally did get the chance to see that in high school, I didn't really see a positive image about what diversity could be in education. I remember my first day of grade 9 walking through with the grade 12 leader that showed grade 9s through the building and where their classes were to just help them out. And I remember we were walking down this hall and she stopped and said, well, this is the brown hall, so that's why it smells this way. And I was really confused. I didn't really understand until I finally understood that that's where most of the ASL students' lockers were. And so all the students in the school actually called it Brown Hall. So that was really my first experience. It wasn't really diversity in the true sense that it was really segregated and there was no really interaction between the communities. That is to say, until those one day beautiful cultural days that some high schools had. And for me, that really didn't do anything because they just brought some food in. We maybe talked about it during, the lunch break, and that was really it. And I didn't get to know the people around me and really anything about them and what they needed out of education and what they were interested in school for. I learned nothing. So I really didn't see that in my youth. I didn't really get the chance. I also recently, I was reflecting on this when I was talking to my partner. I went to a club in Toronto and I realized that I was one of the few only white people in the club. And it really took me a second to unpack how that made me feel and maybe why that made me uncomfortable. And I didn't realize that that was maybe one of the first times that I had been in a situation where I was not of the dominant race. And for me, that really helped me because I was able to reflect on that and thought, well, what does that then look like in the classroom? If we have a student who doesn't look like the rest of his peers, he can't identify, they don't see themselves in the stories and in the textbooks and in the presentation, what are we doing for them? Are they comfortable? I don't know if they would be. I wasn't comfortable in that situation when I was a grown up and I had to unpack that. And these are kids that we're putting in situations, and it really helped me reflect on what does diversity look like and how can we support these students in our classroom. And just these experiences really helped me understand that it is important to try to put ourselves in other people's shoes and get the time to know our students and their backgrounds and celebrate that and not just pick the one day of the semester that we're going to celebrate them and learn over lunchtime. Why don't we celebrate it throughout the school year? We bring in community members, we make a club to introduce and bring in parents and bring in Indigenous elders and make it feel like a community and a place of learning rather than a place that we just send kids to for a majority of the day. why don't we make it full of a welcoming atmosphere that embraces diversity rather than separating our students into brown